Live from NPR News, I'm Janine Herbst. Wildfires continue to burn in 11 states in the West. Firefighters from California and Utah are heading to Montana, where 5 federal firefighters were injured when swirling winds pushed a wildfire over them. Corin Cates Carney from Montana Public Radio has more.
The Bureau of Land Management announced the injuries as Montana and many western U.S. states face dry, hot conditions and firefighting resources are stretched thin. Mark Jacobson with BLM says the firefighters were evacuated after they were caught by a sudden change in weather.
The swirling breezes moved the flames back around and over them, so it wasn't like a clearly defined line that they were working on, and there was no warning.
The firefighters were transported to medical facilities and their injuries are being evaluated. Governor Greg Gianforte has mobilized the Montana National Guard to help in the statewide wildfire response. For NPR News, I'm Corin Cates Carney in Missoula.
The U.S. women's soccer team beat New Zealand today at the Tokyo Olympics. As NPR's Kat Lonsdorf reports, it was a much-needed win.
The U.S. women's team owned the game with a final score of 6-1, and the team could have been more dominant. The U.S. had several goals ruled out on offside calls in the first half. The win came after a crushing loss to Sweden earlier in the week. As is the somewhat eerie theme at these Olympics, the game was played to a nearly empty stadium. All spectators have been banned due to the pandemic, but there was at least one fan cheering for Team USA, First Lady Joe Biden. The U.S. came into these games hoping to become the first women's team ever to take Olympic gold after winning the World Cup, which they did in 2019. This win makes that goal still possible. The team heads next to the coastal city of Kashima to take on Australia. Kat Lonsdorf, NPR News.
The British government is moving to allow essential workers to avoid self-isolation if they come into contact with individuals infected with the coronavirus. As Viofo A119 reports from London, the plan is aimed at enabling firemen, police officers, and freight drivers to continue to work.
The UK's recent spike in coronavirus case numbers has caused chaos in some sectors of the country's reopening economy. Train lines, food supplies, and even police forces are facing staff shortages, with personnel pushed to stay home by government notifications. Now authorities have promised greater daily testing capacity for frontline workers, particularly among police and transport staff, to avoid the 10-day stay-at-home requirements.
Viofo A119 reporting from London. As coronavirus cases continue to rise around the country, Missouri's Attorney General Eric Schmidt says he will file a lawsuit to stop a new mask mandate from going into effect in St. Louis and St. Louis County. Missouri is one of the hardest hit states of the new surge, which is blamed on the Delta variant. You're listening to NPR News.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said life expectancy in the U.S. dropped 1.5 years in 2020. That drop from 78.8 years in 2019 to 77.3 years in 2020 was the biggest decline in U.S. life expectancy since World War II. And the drop was even steeper for Black and Latino Americans, about 3 years. The main culprit here was COVID. The CDC said COVID was 74% responsible for this decline in life expectancy. But it's not the only one, as you may know from what you see in your own city or town, where drug overdoses and a surge in homicides, especially involving guns, are also playing a role. So we decided to take a deeper look at the pandemic, and one of the places around the country where COVID cases have been on the rise lately, Los Angeles County. The average daily case count in the county is 9 times higher now than it was only 4 weeks ago. And that's despite the fact that 62% of residents there over the age of 16 are fully vaccinated. To learn more about how the county is responding, we called Dr. Barbara Ferrer. She is the public health director for LA County, and she's with us now. Dr. Ferrer, thank you so much for being with us once again.
Thank you so much, Michelle, for having me.
So what's your take, first of all, on why this is happening? Is it this new variant?
You know, certainly in LA County, really most of our increase is attributed to a Delta variant that's highly infectious and has many opportunities to infect those people that are unvaccinated. And even though, as you noted, you know, we have a large number of people fully vaccinated, and we're extraordinarily grateful to everybody who's come in to get vaccinated, we still have about 4 million people here in LA County that are not vaccinated, including 1.3 million children under the age of 12. Couple this with the fact that we have fully reopened, meaning that there's a lot more intermingling. You can see how easy it is for there to be a lot of spread.
And that's one reason why you reimposed a mandate for everybody to wear masks indoors, regardless of vaccination status. I think that mandate went into effect just a week ago. What is your sense about whether has it helped?
We won't know if it's helped for a few weeks because remember we have a 14-day incubation period here, so we'll need to wait a while to see how effective it is on really getting us back to slowing transmission. There is the possibility, even